do not even like Trump. Keep that in mind.
Well, I've been saying this for how long? I just literally made a fucking porn series, like, number of shorts, right? You know how, like, there's, like, something, 39, right? There's a number 39 of some porn series that's out there, all right? That's not the point of this video, okay? But I just made all these shorts, which YouTube did some weird shit to me while I was making them, and was like, daily upload limit reached. Try again in 24 hours. And that was less than 24 hours ago, and I could still fucking upload. Now I can upload, but I couldn't upload then. It said, wait 24 hours, your upload limit been reached. It hasn't been 24 hours, but I just uploaded some shit again, right? Yeah. So this series, cause you know I'm on my Mel Gibson shit. I'm on my who's another good like real famous movie motherfucker. I'm on my Quentin Tarantino shit. I'm on my you know what I'm saying? I'm on my Spike Lee shit. All that. We're all that. Not Michael Rappaport though. Michael Rappaport's a racist. Michael Rappaport's like DJ Vlad. He's not with us. He likes to watch us. You know what I'm saying? Win with us or watch us win. And then you know what I'm saying, DJ Khaled. So anyway, and then the drone. So basically, I have made this whole docuseries because I be on my James Cameron shit right now, making movies, making a legacy. You know, I'm trying to secure this legacy like I'm locking up my Subaru. Okay, WRX only though. We don't do the regular. Only the legacy WRX. Yeah, it's gotta be the blue one with the gold rims. Anyway, so while I'm doing that, I make this whole shit. About 4 hours ago, Decoy Voice makes a video about the whole thing. Keep in mind, I completely forgot Trump got shot at again now, right? The fuck is that? Just dust flying around? Oh, all right. Either way, so Decoy Voice basically makes this whole video saying exactly what I was saying this morning. Do we be seeing me? Yeah. I ain't gonna call it stealing with him. I fuck with Decoy Voice. He funny to me, so he can go ahead and do that. If he stole my idea, I ain't mad about it. Either way, I'm gonna put little snippets of there and that. The only thing is, Decoy Voice is just stole my idea. Fuck, don't copyright me. Don't copyright. I'm gonna chop it up, but I won't say it's stealing if you don't. I fuck with you. It's my peoples, you know what I'm saying? It's Snow White's people, so dog, that's my mans in them. So what I'm doing, my mans in them is doing. Yeah, know. So if you fucking with me, you fucking with doom doom. What if you don't now? So anyways, like I said, he's Snow White people, so shout out Decoy Voice, all that shit, right? I had a whole other video I was going to do, and then I just saw this shit, and I was like, nah, we gotta do this now. Right before bed, now. Literally, the last thing I'm gonna do all day is this. Legacy, history, media in effect, apocalypse now, Vietnam.
I do not even like Trump. Keep that in mind. I do not even like Trump. Keep that in mind.
So let's just give a brief synopsis of the suspicious circumstances around the suspect, how the powers that be can mislead some loser into thinking this will give him some sort of positive legacy, but more importantly, why we need to stop this.
Hey, now Post Malone said I was tweaking. He said I was tweaking, right? I wasn't tweaking. I told you. I said saying all that shit about threat to democracy. Well, where's the expensive mic? Hold on.
As back in 2018, he was interviewed by the news over flooding in Hawaii, where the streets were clear, but he gave them a shot of him rowing a boat in his
Black folks, I had to get the expensive mic, you know what I'm saying? I had to get the expensive mic. Just park the mic in the sink. So yeah, these are two of the most eccentric fucking assassins I've ever fucking heard of. Could you imagine if, like, when JFK happened, right? They're like, oh, yeah, Lee Harvey Oswald, we got a video of him rowing his boat in his yard on the news. I bet you he would have been found, like, not guilty or something by reason of, like, insanity, right? It gets weirder with this guy. Or like the other kid, BlackRock. You notice how things that involve Trump, BlackRock is always on the other side of, like, whenever anything bad happens to Trump, there's always some weird tie to BlackRock. Like, BlackRock name just keep coming up, right? And let me tell you something. As someone who, as a retired criminal, dealt with being under investigation a lot, and, like, what police had said to me often when I was under investigation. You know what they would say? Because your name keeps coming up. Your name is heard a lot in relation to this. That's why we're here. So let me ask why there's no one doing that with BlackRock right now. Why is it? It's almost like if you got two gangs at war, right? And you find out that one side keeps getting shot at, right? Who are you gonna think is shooting at them? Obviously, it's the motherfucker from the other side. And who is the ops? The other side. Why has no one gone and talked to Hillary Clinton? Why has no one especially gone and talked to goddamn BlackRock when they name come up in anything where it's something is against Trump, it's there because of BlackRock. I believe it was something like with the debate or something. They said, yeah, well, you know, it's because BlackRock got money in this shit. So they put the debater who's biased towards Kamala Harris. They chose that guy. It was something to do with the debate. Something where it was like, it wasn't nothing like, but the first assassin, BlackRock. Let BlackRock name come up in this shit, please. How did this guy have all this money? You're gonna hear about this in a second. Just hold up.
Several years later, he was being interviewed by Semaphore and even Newsweek.
Can you say crisis actor? Like, I want to take, like, really good note of that whole get up right there, bro. If there was to be, like, a rent-a-protester website, this guy, that would be his profile picture. Oh, he's got the dyed hair. Who put you here, bro? Are you government? Get out. Who sent you? Get out.
And even Newsweek, as there are conflicting reports, but most saw him as a US mercenary that was recruiting refugees to fight in Ukraine.
Being a mercenary is illegal. Yeah, I had to bring the expensive mic out for this so that y'all take me seriously like I'm Joe Rogan's. You know what I'm saying? So this is such the expensive mic, I just wrap it around my shoulder, it works. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I brought the expensive mic out, Joe Rogan's. So keep in mind, being a mercenary is illegal. Across the world, it is not allowed. You are not allowed to be a mercenary. Being a private military contractor is not. You can be a private military contractor, but being a mercenary has been illegal since, like, I think World War II or some shit. There is literally like it's a Geneva Convention, something that applies to the whole world. It might be the UN, something. I know this because it literally the thing is fucking called the fucking something mercenary act, anti-mercenary act. So, like, you're not allowed to be calling yourself a mercenary. That's the whole reason Blackwater wasn't called mercenaries. It was called security solutions or private contractors. You see what I'm saying? You can't call it a mercenary. It's not allowed. It hasn't been allowed for a long time. Being a mercenary is illegal.
Who apparently had a lot of funds to fly around from Hawaii to DC, all the way to Kyiv.
The most eccentric of assassins. The fact that he used an SKS, front yard broad day with the SK, that is literally the definition of eccentric. It wasn't like an AR-15 or an AK-47. No. He just had to have the obscure shit you don't hear in the news, right? That's eccentric. No, I can't just have an AK. Everyone has that. I can't just use the AR-15. That always gets used. I have to use the SKS. It is literally the definition of eccentric.
Allegedly offering people $1,200 a month to fight as his mercenary.
Being a mercenary is illegal.
And even though he was a convicted felon from 2002 for having a WMD,
Now, what my good friend, my homie Decoy Voice means by WMD, no, he did not. He didn't have a nuke. He had some blaster caps and some dynamite and shit like that. Like, listen, if you want me to be completely real, if you got fertilizer and you got some sugar, you just got propellant. You got styrofoam, you got some gasoline, you just got some napalm. You see what I'm saying? It's like this guy just had to be more eccentric than the last guy who was in a BlackRock commercial. I told y'all, man, when you see this thing come out, bro, you know it's real. This is technology that does not even exist yet. All hood.
He somehow was still able to get an SKS, knowing exactly where to set up on the president.
I ain't buying it. I mean, but shit, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm a convicted felon with mad gun charges, multiple. I don't just got one felony, bro. I got like 4 if you count my YO. You know what I'm saying? I know where I could get an SK right now, you know what I'm saying? Cuz got an SK. Blood trying to tax for it. I ain't trying to spend nothing more than a rack for it. Doing something right now, so I'm going to double back
in
for
a so-called last-minute golf outing that nobody knew about, but somehow he knew to be there 12 hours in advance. I simply don't trust any information coming out about anything, but the official story keeps changing by the minute. First, he had an AK with metal plates and exchanged fire with the Secret Service. Okay, maybe it was just an SKS and never got off a round. But he was a Republican. No, he was a centrist that swayed his affiliation. So let's just wipe out all his social media sites so nobody can verify how much he aligned with the Democrats.
Now, you know it's always FTP where I'm at, right? You know that. Not every cop is an absolute piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot that are, though. There's a lot that are. Like, ACAB is not all cops are bad. It's a lot of cops are bad, in my opinion. And the ones that tend to be bad tend to be in, like, positions where the ones that's good have to listen. Because chain of command. I'm prefacing that to say this. Shout out to them motherfuckers in Utah who caught that. I said Utah. Shout out to them motherfucking police in Florida that called him a ride, man. For real. I'm going to tell you why. See, we hear so much from the news about these mass events, these large gatherings that end with people no longer alive. That now the statistics have been tweaked to where it doesn't have to be, you know, a whole congregation dies. No. If it's more than 3 or 4 people, it's now a mass event, if you know what I'm saying, right? So, similarly to why I think the hat thing in LA was started by the CIA, because they knew how the gangs would likely do what they thought they were going to do. They're trying to make LA communist and have squashed individuality. That's a whole other video. See, the media always want to talk about what happened, right? They want to tell us about the killer. They want to tell us about the victims. I want to interview the killers. If I ever do anything news-like, that's what I would like to do. Because if they're caught alive, whenever we're presented, has anyone ever talked to the Joker from Colorado and asked why he did the thing he did? Or why he was completely doped up on Haldol to a point where he shouldn't have even been allowed to be at trial, bro. Do you understand? They ask you, are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol? And you're under the influence of so many drugs that you've been prescribed that you literally can't even answer that question. You can't plea if you're fucked up like that normally. They won't let you. But he's prescribed, so it's different, right? Manhunt 2. Pickman Bridge. Oh, that was my psychic.
But the biggest red flag, at least to me, is how much the mainstream media is defending him, downplaying the information that actually implicates themselves.
Now this is crazy. This part is fucking crazy. So every time someone does this, right down to the last one, right? How do they paint him? He was a loner, he didn't really fit in, he was, whatever the fuck, right? They always do it in a way where they're like, oh, and then we don't want to name him because we don't want people to emulate this. So for them to literally say, he's a crusader, like, when have they ever talked about anybody who's done anything like this or any type of mass event and said, well, he did a bad thing, but he was a good guy, though. He was a good guy. Right? Like, remember when Sandy Hook happened, right? They didn't, Adam Lanza, how come we didn't have any evidence of him? They had to wait, and they said, okay, now we're going to release it 9 years later. YouTube, I know you don't like when I talk about that. I know them kids really died. I'm sorry to the parents. I apologize for Alex Jones and his ignorance, okay? People who don't live in Connecticut often forget Connecticut even exists. People who don't live in Connecticut also think it's this magical land of riches when it's really the hood. So I'm gonna tread lightly. That's all I'm gonna say about that situation, right?
As time spin is, he had an unclear political ideology, despite the Biden-Harris bumper sticker on his truck, his alleged constant donations to the Democrat Party, and long history of supporting Biden on social media.
So let's do some math. Come on, I'm good at math. I like doing math. Let's do some math, right? So back to the serious shit. So I brought the expensive mic out like Joe Rogan's. So let's do some math. Come on, I'm good at math. So I'm good at math. So I ain't buying this. You know what I'm saying? Free poo shiesty, man. Free poo shiesty. I ain't buying this. Anyway, so like I said, let's add up this shit because I like doing math. We got a guy, mercenary. There is, I believe, a UN article, a UN resolution, whatever the fuck they call that shit. There's some international thing. You cannot be a mercenary, sir. You can be a private military contractor. That's why it's called a PMC, not a mercenary company. It's not called Rent-A-Merc. You know, like it's not. That's not a thing. It's called a PMC, and if I remember, if I'm right about what the difference is, to be in a PMC, you have to have come from the military. You can't just be a guy off the street, be like, I'm gonna enlist with the PM. So we got mercenary, which is illegal. You like okay, who's someone who talked about doing PMC work? Nick Irving. Nick Irving has never used the word mercenary. He said PMC. Anyone who's been in the military knows the word mercenary is a illegal word. You saying you are that is illegal. A mercenary with clear ties to I won't say clear ties. No, I have to use the language of the media. A mercenary who's donated tons of money to the Biden-Harris with a Biden-Harris bumper sticker on his white truck. Keep in mind, black helicopters, white trucks, and white vans are all the sketchiest vehicles in the world. That's not part of the math, okay? The white truck thing I was just throwing in there to add like an extra level of like, this guy's fucking weird. So back to Joe Rogan's. You've got mercenary, really likes Democrats according to his, like, what his behavior was like as far as his digital footprint. And you've got the media trying to say he wasn't that. I've been saying for a long time, you know, there's this game called Brigador. And I covered it on my channel in a very unprofessional manner that I usually wouldn't, you know, do anything with a game in. Only because, for whatever reason, it glitches out when I try to screen record it. It won't let me do it. There's a couple games that are like that. I don't know why. So I'm playing this game, Brigador. And what drew me to Brigador, like, I was not going to pay full price for it. So it went on sale, so I bought it. In this game, you are someone who is basically a mercenary paid to do mass shootings in fucking mechs and tanks. So anyways, yeah, the fact, like, when I played Brigador, it was like, yo, it could always be worse. Imagine a mass shooting and the dude's in a fucking tank, bro. It was scary enough when that one dude, that one time, other than Killdozer, all right? Killdozer didn't have a big fucking gun on it, all right? It couldn't shoot the tank shells. But when that one dude stole, was it a Sherman tank? What was it? Was it a Patton tank? I can't remember. It was whatever we had before right before, it was a Vietnam era one. And he stole that shit and just drove it through fucking LA. He didn't even shoot the gun off. That happened once. Imagine if every time there was a mass shooting, that shit happened. Yeah, it can always be worse. So a lot of people ask me, as a tax-paying member of society, one of the questions that commonly comes up from people when they first meet me and shit or whatever is, so how did you get your money, right? So I feel I'm very qualified, as a tax-paying citizen to ask the same question of this man. How did you get your money? Because when I played Brigador, I realized, god damn, they're paying me $1 million to do this mass shooting in this goddamn mech. It made me think, the people who made this game, what made them think of this concept? You know what I'm saying? It's not a concept like Hatred. Granted, it's a similar style game. It's isometric top down. But it's not like this. It's not like you're someone who's just like been fed up and you're done with life, whatever. So you're gonna just. It's not like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like literally there's a financial incentive. The more mass shootings you do, the more money you make. And you make millions, hundreds of thousands of dollars every time. You make more money than my dad made flying fucking planes for 35 fucking years. More money than 6 figures per mission. Per mission, you make at least 6 figures in this goddamn game. And I've had this theory for a long time. What if people is being paid by political parties with a vested interest against the Constitution? Because let me tell you something. Top secret CIA type things, politics. If there's actually like people have talked about this. If there was a nuclear disaster and they had to go to the bunker, right? There's this bunker that everyone, like certain people, get to go there who are like in the CIA. My cousin actually got. Either way, right? It's something that only you have to be like really trusted to be able to get. You get like a certain key card when you have access to this bunker. The CIA Doomsday Bunker. Think the Enclave or whatever, I forget what it was called in fucking Fallout, right? The one thing where it's like the actual government became this or whatever, right? Okay. And so basically you have to like really be someone, not just in the CIA, but like someone within the CIA. Like you are legendary within the CIA. Like CIA motherfuckers look at you like you the Michael Jordan of the CIA type shit to get this type of clearance, right? And basically this guy also said like there's certain protocols with that bunker. Like for example, they will save the Declaration of Independence before they save the Constitution. They'll let the Constitution burn. So you see why I say this about thinking it wouldn't be too far-fetched, especially with how the media is reacting to this, to suggest this would not be. Listen, conspiracy is a charge. Do you understand? So y'all talk about conspiracy theories all you want, right? When you get jammed up because you and someone else were planning on doing something, and I know this because I know people who've caught conspiracy charges. Conspiracy is one of the most fucked up type of charges you can get. You know why? Because all it takes is once you got that charge with somebody, you and them being in the same spot together again, and they can say he was trying to do it again, and you will get in trouble for the same shit again. I've literally seen this charge ruin families. My little brother Reed, the one who died, the reason that his dad lived in Cali and his mom's still here and they had to get divorced, okay, when all the kids went to like juvie and Steve-O did like 10 years, right? Steve-O's the only one of the brothers that's still alive. R.P. Reed, R.P. Dylan. Steve-O's kind of sad because, like, he did so much time in prison. When he went in, he was, like, a little kid. He was, like, 17. He came out at 30. He's still mentally like a teenager. That's my boy, though. I love him, but it's fucked up what the system do to us, bro. It really is. When they caught all these burglary shits and shit, it was a conspiracy between the mom, the dad, and the kids. But they excused the kids from the conspiracy part, right? But the mom and dad were charged with the conspiracy. And basically, they had to get divorced. They were not going to get divorced for any other reason. They had to because of a conspiracy charge.
Like, really, what does conspiracy mean, right? In a legal sense. All it means is you and other people were conspiring to do something illegal and nefarious. Okay? Or you actually did it. Now, when you say the term conspiracy theory, and you use it in this disparaging way, all we're doing is doing the same thing the police do when they get your ass for a conspiracy charge. We're determining that group of individuals A conspired with group of individuals B to shoot at this guy because he's running for president.
Do you understand? So don't think of me as a conspiracy theorist, right? Think of me like Gucci Mane said, like, I'm like a detective. I really just think about who got the motive to really do the shit. And that's the only pussy who got the motive, you know what I'm saying? And look at his action. Look at like what he doing. That's how I know. I'm not a detective. I gotta make that clear. I'm never gonna be a detective. I never will be. But I just had to quote Gucci Mane because those are very murder charges. Yeah, this guy gonna be facing murder charges. Basically, I wouldn't be surprised if someone Jack Ruby's him either. I think Florida's playing it smart. You know how, see, here's the thing. I don't like DeSantis, but I do. The only reason I don't like DeSantis, and this is going to sound real crazy to y'all, right? I had a dream. Me and my wife and my son went to Florida to go to Disney World and all type of shit. They let my wife and kid into everything, and I had to stand in the parking lot because they had a law for some reason in Florida, and everywhere I would go with my wife and kid, they would escort me out and say, "Sorry, sir, it's whites only." In this dream. And I was like, whites only? Like, and I'm still same skin color I'm now in this dream. And I'm largely considered just white, considered I'm half native though. But because I look white, it's just, you know what I'm saying, I'm light skinned. You know what I'm saying? But this dream, which keep in mind has nothing to do with him in real life, left such a bad taste. Like when I woke up, I was pissed off. Because I kept going back to bed expecting to get told why I didn't classify as whites only. And I never got an answer. All I got to do was sit outside Disney World for fucking 6 hours. Literally, it seemed like real time in this dream while my wife and kids going on all the rides. Because, sorry, sir, this is whites only. And everything was that. There was not a single place I could go where they didn't escort me out and say, they were nice about it, but this dream really made me not like Ron DeSantis. But I was just thinking about what's going on and how it's sort of like doing the Lord's work and shit. And I said, DeSantis. Like, of saints. You know what I'm saying? That's what that last name means. It means of the saints. So, this is a very pivotal moment, I think, in history. There's pockets of resistance around the planet, and we've been fighting for a long time. I think we about to win.
Yeah, where he parrots Biden's exact lines of, "Democracy is on the ballot."
We must be clear. Democracy is on the ballot.
So why wouldn't he also agree with Biden here?
And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Trump is a threat to this nation.
Or Biden here?
Donald Trump and the MAGA Republicans represent an extremism that threatens the very foundations of our republic.
Or the time Biden said Trump is a threat to the nation months ago, saying Trump and his supporters are a threat 2 years ago, or how his replacement echoes those same statements. So much that after Trump called out how this rhetoric almost ended his life,
I probably took a bullet to the head because of the things that they say about me.
He actually posted a long list of the many times Democrats have said this. But no, the media claims that Trump brings these attempts on himself.
That sounds like a veiled threat to say stop running for president, doesn't it? The media says he brings these attacks on himself. How? By playing fucking golf? Golf courses are like the whitest, least violent. Like, when have you ever heard of a shooting happening at a golf course? When? Big U and Crip Mac was at the golf course. Was there any type of anything? No. That doesn't happen there. It's like almost like there's a magical spell put on golf courses where it's like no violence can happen here. And that's why it's such a trope in movies like Falling Down to always have some dumb shit happen at a golf course. Like even in Brigador, bro, there was one level I was playing, I'm like, I'm really doing this shit on a golf course. It seems like there's mad fucking, just because like to play on the fact, like golf courses, I saw this in the comment section somewhere, are a neutral like place. Like they're a place where especially people who do big business will meet with business competitors and business allies to like discuss business while they're playing golf, because golf is a very long, slow game. Listen, my pops loves golf. Literally, that is what he does. He bought a house, literally, that is right off of a golf course. Do you understand? Like, this is what this man does, besides creepy shit with government and planes.
Now, the suspect was a crusader for many causes, that he had a sense of duty and was a super citizen. We've known for
Like, imagine if the media, when Charlie Manson did all that shit, and Charlie never killed nobody, bro. What do you want to call me a murderer for? I never killed anyone. They had to invent a whole charge to say I killed somebody. They literally had to invent a fucking charge to say Charlie Manson killed somebody because he literally didn't kill anyone. He just told people to and they did it. He didn't even pay them. It wasn't like there wasn't no Rico type shit that happened. It was literally just, he was like, I'm Jesus. Go kill like LSD. Literally, like, that's like, bro. Charlie Manson was a gangster. It was so good. His parole hearings was great because he knew he was getting a deadie, so he would just go there and catch wreck. Like, he's a funny dude, bro. If you've ever listened to his music, let me tell you, he might have invented grunge. I'm not gonna hold you. But anyways, side mission. So, could you imagine if when the fucking Tate LeBlanc and all that shit happened, and the child's wife, who fled, as a fugitive from justice, and somehow that's cool, we're not gonna go get Mr. Polanski for that, and despite the fact that he was found guilty and literally fled before sentencing. So, could you imagine if when all that shit happened, the news goes, but he was a great musician. Charlie Manson was an amazing. If the news came out and said Charlie Manson was an amazing musician, yeah, he did some bad things, but what a great musician though. That alone would be bad enough. This is of the level where if like when John Wayne Gacy happened, them motherfuckers was like, yeah, so he had like 35 bodies in the crawl space and did a whole bunch of weird shit and all that. But he really donated a lot to his community, bro. He donated a lot. He really helped the police out there and shit. Yeah, and he was an alright. He crusaded for a lot of local projects in the Chicago area. Like the Pickman Bridge, Manhunt 2. That was my psychic.
fact that the type of person that commits these terrible crimes are oftentimes people that are looking for a legacy. And if the media constantly paints a politician, at best, a danger to democracy, then at worst, literally Hitler, and then if some maniac listens to that and then goes after that person, they paint them as a crusader and super citizen, I genuinely believe this is the media's fault, as they know exactly what they're doing and they simply refuse to stop.
Like, it's already the point. Do you understand the reason I want to interview these mass shooters and shit? Is because, A, I want to know what they was thinking. If they can even think. Or was their mind destroyed by MK Ultra, like a lot of times what tends to happen. There's a whole Fifth Estate documentary you could watch about a woman who literally, her brain has been turned to mush. She cannot function. Like, she can't talk, nothing. Like, She can move around, that's about it. She's like a hover round, bro. She just does little things and then, like, but she cannot talk at all. And she's from Canada, and her family was able to sue the CIA and shit, and the doctor's office that did this shit, and get a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? This is the type of time I'm on. So anyways, so you gotta understand, this type of shit does happen. It is real. It's like MK Ultra.
As the press secretary said this today,
claimed without evidence that their rhetoric is causing him to be, quote, shot at. How is the White House responding to
The president has also said when it comes to, violent rhetoric, we gotta bring the temperature down.
but seconds after, went right back into the same rhetoric.
President Biden has been clear-eyed about the threat that the former president represents to our democracy.
Then MSNBC keeps leaning into how dangerous he is.
This is dangerous. This is a threat to people. And at the same time we denounce what apparently has happened as a threat to Donald Trump, we should denounce what is apparently a threat to blacks.
A has-been CNN anchor parrots the same thing.
If Donald Trump wants Kamala Harris and others to stop saying that he is a threat to democracy, then he should stop threatening democracy.
And even Hillary is back at it.
Well, the object in this case is Donald Trump. His demagoguery, his danger to our country and the world.
But also, curiously goes after free speech at the same time.
But I also think there are Americans who are engaged in this kind of propaganda. And whether they should be civilly or even in some cases criminally charged is something that would be a better deterrent.
So out of the 30 people that went after Trump, we know why at least one of them did it. And instead of the media taking their own advice and, quote, lowering the temperature of our political climate, they literally can't go seconds without seemingly encouraging the next attempt. Combine that with them